All right, all right, all right. Here we go. I think I messed up something on my other platform. I think I set it to private mode because I was testing it last night and forgot to change it. Oh well, such is life. So I'll have to remember to change that later now. So many things to keep track of. Hey folks, what's happening? I see people are streaming in. Sam, Jane, Eric, good morning, good morning. Thank you for the heart me's. I appreciate that. That is pretty cool how you do that. I'm guessing what didn't appear on the screen the last two. Why does it? I've gotten this weird message a couple of times. I have no idea what it means. Can everybody see me? Because it's saying that I'm not appearing on screen, and I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not crazy. Because who knows? This weird technology. No, I seem to be on screen. Let's see. Eric says, as of this week, we've spent 27 million on dumps golf outings in 2025. Sam says, I see and hear you just fine. Thank you, Sam, for letting me know. That's what I thought, but once in a while I get these bizarre messages. I guess, I suppose it shouldn't surprise me because this is an enormous platform. I mean, just consider the fact that just in America, over half the country is on this. So that means they have to work on this 24 hours a day. And sometimes it's going to glitch. It's actually amazing that it doesn't glitch more often. And Eric says, I'd love to see anybody go to their boss and say they were paying for the vacation, right? The news this morning says that air traffic controllers are refusing to show up to work. Yeah, so if planes take off, that means it's going to be insanely, insanely dangerous. Hasn't there already been like a record number of airplane crashes this year? Because he diminished these departments. Oof, outrageous. So, as always, I'm a little sweaty because of the lights, but that's a first world problem. All right, there's a few people in here, and we're gonna get going. If I could just get my throat to work correctly. I remember a long time ago, Ricardo Montalban was on the Johnny Carson show. Oh, Fred thinks he's clever. He said you misspelled best. Oh, Fred, are you one of Dump's good little boys? Are you one of his simps that doesn't like when people speak bad about Daddy Dump? There you go. He proved my point. Long live King Donald. That's hilarious. How does a grown man have no shame and post something like that publicly? Holy shit. Let me guess. You've AI drawn an image of yourself on your knees cradling his sack. What a sad, pathetic existence. Yeah, he's hoping that he's gonna pull up to Fred's house and hug him and say, "I love you, Fred. You're a good little boy. Thank you for being a simp for me." Holy shit, man. So sad. So sad. Oh man. So Fred, I'm gonna play this next song despite you. Um, in my humble opinion, Anita Baker has one of the best female voices in recorded history. And this is my favorite song of hers. Here we go.
I won't be neglected, I won't be denied the pleasure of your kisses, the pleasure of your smile. I think you take for granted that I'll always be here just because I love you. It doesn't mean I won't despair. It's so long, I'm missing you, baby. Missing you, baby. Thoughts and mellow memories of once upon a time slowly creeping on me, and they linger on my mind. Just let somebody love you, I just don't know why. Whenever I get close to you, you wanna run and hide. But so long, I'm missing you, baby. It's been so long. I'm missing you, baby. It's been so long. I'm missing you, baby. It's been so long. I'm missing you, baby. Don't you understand? I'm in need of comfort, the comfort of your hand in mine, and what I feel inside. Whenever you come closer, I can't hide. Can't hide. It's too long. Won't you come on, baby? Won't you come on home? See about me. See about me. Oh, baby, oh, baby, baby. Come on, see about me. 'Cause I keep telling you I can't do without you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I see that there's a couple of Donnie Dump Simpson here. Here's the thing. Check this out. If someone were to say they didn't like Barack Obama or he was the worst, I wouldn't react emotionally. And I'll tell you why. I don't know the motherfucker. He's not a member of my family. He's not paying my bills. So I don't owe him anything. I don't need to be a simp. Devil healer. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I grew up in what I think is the golden age of music, 70s R&B, 70s rock. So that's a lot of what I play. I never got to see Anita live. I got to see Luther live. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oof. So anyway, as I was saying, I wouldn't have an emotional reaction to someone disliking Barack Obama because I'm not a member of a cult. I don't have to uh, pledge allegiance to him. I'm not worried. Yeah, Bubba Gump, true. Please don't type in all caps. I don't know why people do that. If you've been on TikTok, you know that all caps is reserved for hosts and mods. So please, I like what you're saying, but just say it normally. Look at this. Da Baño, which means the bathroom, by the way, said Dump is the best president ever. Really? Um, why don't you come up and explain that to me? How? And I will offer you one little suggestion. Try to have facts when you speak, not just your feelings about him. Look at this. He's the only guy who's ever cared about America. Yeah, of course, FDR didn't care. He just got us through the Great Depression and World War II. He definitely didn't care about America. Oh, Barack Obama got us out of falling into another depression. Of course, he didn't care. But the guy who just sent $20 billion to Argentina, he cares about America. While farmers are losing their businesses and some of them checking out permanently because they've lost their businesses, you're trying to tell me that the guy who did that cares about America. You're adorable. You are a good little simp, a good little cult member. Tread one red tiger. If 1,000 other people had not called me Dr. Phil before you, I would think that was funny. Um, Hulk Rogan. Biden let his son have executive power with the auto pen. Did he care? Hey, listen, you might want to crawl up from under your rock because that's such a weird thing to say. You're just making stuff up now at this point. Alex Alex said
Yeah, Trump is a decent president.
uh, uh, I have not said hello to you yet, so just hang out a second. I saw another very funny. Oh my god, what was that weird comment that someone just made?
Oh, the one that says you look like Uncle Phil. Nah, that shit got me dead.
Yeah, so since you're not going to be polite
Okay,
and
what you're
wait,
not gonna do.
bye. I mean, what does it take to get through to these people? I said I haven't introduced you yet. Give me a minute. I want to look at these. I want to look at these comments. And then he kept talking. What is that? What is that? And he's one of these punks that will go ahead and report the live because he didn't get his way. Okay, hold on a second. Obama gave weapons to cartel that were used to Unalived Border Patrol. That is hilarious. Of all the wild conspiracies that I've heard, this is one of the dumbest ones that I've heard. Wow, that's amazing. So, let's see. User 1273. Dude, find something better to do that cry about dump. There's nothing you can do to change it. I guess you don't recognize human emotions because you say I'm crying. This right here is not crying. So you really are weird. Uh, do, 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 do. Instead of proving why Dump shouldn't be president, you just cry about Dump is bad. So, Dabanyo, I invited you up, but you didn't come up, so I guess you gotta go. Bye. Stock market is skyrocketing. So you don't know what the word skyrocketing means, huh? Oh boy. And Alex, you are spamming the live now because you're repeating the same nonsense over and over again. So you gotta go. Weird people, man. Oh my god. I'm rich because of dump. Sure, so you don't care about anybody else but yourself. That's on brand. Yeah. Oh my god, he wrote this like 7 times. Wow. Chatty said you're weeping, complaining. That's hilarious. Yeah, why is it that megaheads can't recognize human emotions? Does anyone normal out there see what I'm doing as crying? Has anyone heard me cry? What's that about? Let's see. Alex says you don't know shit. Oh, 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 oh. So rugged. Chatty said, "What are you doing?" Exactly. You don't recognize human emotions since you have to ask. So Chatty, I guess you're not familiar with how American politics works because you actually can get rid of a president. So saying that there's nothing I can do means you're un-American and don't understand America. So slice of life with a Y. That's interesting. TBH, there are pros and cons to anyone who steps into the presidency. Wow, what a genius take that is. Fight says you are winning too. For some reason, capitalized winning. I don't know why. Chatty says, don't you have a job? Well, you're here, so I guess you don't have one, right? Is that the logic? I can't have a job because I'm hosting a TikTok live, and you can't have a job because you're listening to me host my TikTok live. Oh, genius. Genius season. Genius. No, you're complaining. So what was my complaint, Chatty? What have I cuz by the way, I have literally not even said anything about dump yet. I was talking about Obama and talking about MAGA hats. I haven't even started talking about dump. So the fact that you're saying that I'm complaining about dump means that you're not paying attention. Chatty once again says you can't change who the president is today, can you? What is your point? Are you trying to be right about your earlier comment because now you're throwing in the caveat of today and that makes you feel like you're a winner, right? That you won the argument? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Chatty again says you can't change who the president is. George Heller says dump all the way. Chatty says I own my own company. I don't have to work. That's hilarious. Now I know. Now I absolutely know that you don't own your own company. I've. What is it? A huge corporation? Because if it's a mom and pop shop, you're fucking working all the time. No fucks. I give. I don't know. Says it's Timu Uncle Phil. Well, that's a little. That's a little twist on the theme. So that's pretty good. Slice of Life says, what's with the passive aggressive comment on what I said? Are you unable to have valid arguments? Come on up. Let's see. Request up. And let's see if I can have a valid argument. Good morning, Kim. So, oh, I don't see Slice of Life coming up. Whoa. What happened? And wait, aside from your poor rage bait, what is your purpose going live? Give some arguments. Oh, did you think I was here to entertain you? Slice of Life? Do you think when you close your eyes the whole world disappears? Is that what you're about? I'm not here to do what the fuck you want. I'm here to do what the fuck I want. And if you don't like how I'm running my life, feel free to fuck off. That's a simple answer, simple solution for you. Right? Boy, look at how emotional these people are getting because of the title of this live. Look at how emotional. Oh, look, Slice of Life is trying to convince him or herself that he's winning. Keep dodging. No, I'm waiting for you to come up, and you haven't done it. Why? Why haven't you come up? If you have such strong arguments, come on up and say so. I'm not gonna keep having a debate in chat. That doesn't make any sense. You've got 10 seconds to come up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, when people talk shit in the chat and then don't come up, they get blocked. Jane 46 says, look at how many are in here on dump side. LOL, they jobless. Whoops, hold on. They jobless because dump fired them. Yeah, that could be. Bob Loblaw, stealing from Arrested Development, says, why do you support a party that thinks they own your vote because of the color of your skin? Oh, is that what the party thinks? So is that your argument to convert me to your party, who thinks literally I'm not a human being? Because one is horrible, one is just arrogance. You understand the difference there. Like, let's say you're right, which is not likely because you sound, like you really don't know anything. But let's say you're right, and my party thinks they own my vote because of the color of my skin. That's just arrogance, right? And I've never heard any Democrat express that. So I don't know where you're getting that from, but okay. Again, assuming you're right, that's an arrogant position. But the party that doesn't believe I'm human, that's an extreme racist position and the kind of thing that leads to genocide. So that's the party that you're backing, right? That's the party that you're about. Yes, Biden made a joke that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So what? Dump has been calling half of America the enemy within, and you're fucking quoting Biden on a joke that he said to who? Charlemagne, I think? I mean, come the fuck on. How pathetic is that? MEP says, stop lying, LOL. Why would you put LOL after accusing me of lying? That's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, Dirty Halo is upset that I categorized Biden's statement as a joke. 4 question marks, because doesn't understand that 1 question mark is enough. Oh, had to type out I'm not upset with an exclamation point, right? I'm not upset. Screaming I'm not upset. Yeah, that makes you sound calm. Oh my god. Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh man, look at how crashed they're all crashing out. Because I said dump is the worst. Look at them crashing out. Look at the good little cult members, the good little simps all crashing out. Oh my god. Oh, we're so bad because you insulted Daddy Dump. We love Daddy Dump. Donnie White says, come on, make a point or move on. Hey, Donnie, if you don't like how I'm running my life, feel free to fuck off. Nothing's keeping you here. Swipe left, swipe right, whichever direction you need to swipe. I'm not here to entertain you. I don't give a fuck what you think. Host has no content, so he picks on followers. Funny. Oh, you don't like that, Amy? Feel free to leave. Right. Marvin says if Dump is mad about something, MAGA is mad too. Yeah, because they're good little cult members, right? IXIA_AG says should be able to critique our leaders regardless of our team. Yeah, I think the Constitution said that, right? That's what the First Amendment is. We are emboldened to redress our grievances to the government, right? Dirty Halo, look, oh, Dirty Halo's really taking things personally. There's an old saying, Dirty Halo, if it don't apply, let it fly, but you've never heard that, have you? Wow, I see you have no idea who I voted for, and you judge because I said not a joke. No, I simply, I simply was wondering why you put 4 exclamation points, 4 question marks rather. MEP said Lyndon B. Johnson was talking about tap dancers like you. MEP, oh, a thumb thugger, a keyboard warrior. Donnie White says you just insult people. No, I just insult dumb people. Josh Warner says you are deaf the problem. Just listening to you for 30 secs. Okay, Josh, bye. These MAGA hats think that I am here to entertain them, that I'm here to speak to their issues. No, I don't give a fuck about you. And you don't say anything intelligent at all. You're just upset because I don't love your daddy Donnie like you do. That's what this is all about. That's what all this uproar is about. But let's take a couple. Let's talk about a couple things real quick. Just as a reminder, ICE plans to monitor social media for threats and negative comments. Threats, I understand, but they're creating a whole department. This was announced back in February, and I know it got buried under a bunch of stuff, but I was reminded of it this morning. But they plan to have an entire department where their whole job is to scour social media to see if anybody's saying anything bad about Daddy Dump. Urbano Rodriguez, oh, a self hating Latino person says, if you are so much better, why aren't you the president? That sounds like the kind of thing that someone told me on the playground when I was 5 years old. Are you a grown adult speaking like that? And if you are, in fact, Latino, why are you taking up for your oppressor? Are you that much a self hating minority that you take up for your oppressor? That's disgusting. And here's a little bit of history. I actually didn't know this until today. In 1928, Republicans controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and had the majority of governors and the Supreme Court. They voted for short term greed. This should sound familiar, right? They voted for short term greed, deregulation, and corporate profits. And by the way, I don't think it's been since 1928 up until now that that all of this was true. All the control was true. And so again, 1928. Hey, anybody remember what happened in 1929 to 1941? The Great Depression, and the worst depression in America's history because of Republican policies, right? And that's what has happened over and over again. And after, during this time, it took a Democrat to fix everything. And that's what we've seen throughout history. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't have a horse in that race because I don't care about teams and all that Hatfield McCoy nonsense that people uh, that people get into. Um, I just look at facts. I read the history of the parties. I read their performance because everything that political parties have done over the years has been recorded, right? So we all can read the history. We all can see the same information about who did what. And we know that basically the cycle of political life in America, and of course, all of life in America, is that a Republican gets into office, and especially in the last 60 years, a Republican gets into office and the economy tanks. And then a Democrat comes in and starts fixing it, but people don't want to give them time to fix it because they're struggling. So they want something done now, right away. And so then they vote in a Republican, and Republican tanks the economy again. And this is how it's been going, right? I mean, Obama stopped the country from going into a depression, and then Dump came in and trashed the place. Biden came in and had the best recovery of any country in the world. So these people are just repeating my statements as question. Tanks the economy? T guy, what is your question? Do you not know what that means? Is that too much slang for you? Austin Moore says, if you are looking at facts, I would love to know what you are. Source, SORCE, is cuz, CUZ, it's wrong. So tell me what the right facts are, Austin. Since you know I'm wrong, so you must have the facts. Go ahead and tell me. Tell me what the facts are. Because again, you know, there are entities, mostly nonprofits. All they do is gather information, right? Even if they're part of the government, they tend to be apolitical, and they just gather information, like the General Office of Accountability or General Accountability Office, something like that. It's either GAO or GOA. I always forget what it is. And then there's the Budget Office, CBO, the Congressional Budget Office. So these are the entities that keep the records of the performance of any administration. There are no better sources than that. And of course, there are other third parties that do the same thing. And they just gather the facts and then lay them out. So they're available to all of us. And I'm not going to debate facts with anybody. You can debate me on just about anything except facts, right? Here's another fact that you won't believe. I think the last 30 years, 96% of the jobs were created by the Democratic Party. Go ahead and look it up. Don't just tell me I'm wrong. User 7711 says, you tell me how Obama, Biden, Clinton, Bush was any better than Dump. I didn't say Bush was. Bush is a WAR criminal as far as I'm concerned, and he's the one that tanked the economy, so clearly he wasn't better than Dump. Obama recovered the economy, which is better than Dump. Biden recovered the economy, which is better than Dump. Clinton is the only president to ever balance the budget and zero out the deficit. That's better than Dump also. So there you go. I've told you. T-Guy, what do you do for work? What do you care? Do I owe you money? Nope. So doesn't matter what I do for work. Mason says Republicans love a recession. Yeah. And then they find a way to blame the Democrats, and the mouth breathers believe them. Because, this morning I was watching video after video of MAGA hats, some of them literally in tears, talking about how all of their expenses have gone up. They can barely afford groceries. Now some of them are starting to receive the letters that tell them that their insurance premiums are doubling. This is not sustainable. This is absolutely not sustainable. And let's see, someone made a comment about their 401k. Safest border in history. Oh, you really are propaganda parrots. Swada says another propaganda thing. 401ks at an all-time high, baby boy, BOI. So what? Are you the entire country? Or is it just that you don't care about your fellow Americans? Right. So the people that are like, I don't know, I'm making more money. Yeah. Individuals might be doing well, but statistics are not about individuals. You know that, right? They're the total picture, right? So just because America is collapsing economically doesn't mean that there aren't still wealthy people, doesn't mean that there aren't people that are doing well. So what is the point of that? Why do you think that your situation is the situation overall? That's very limited thinking. It's actually sad that you think that way. Grizzly Bear apparently has voices in his head because he said, we love President Dump. In every way, Grizzly Bear. So you said we. So obviously you think you're more than one person. That's interesting. And we love, this is a grown man, folks. Think about this. This is a grown man announcing publicly his love for President Donnie Dump. How sad is that? How absolutely sad is that? somebody says dump is what our country and the world needs, then why is the world turning away from America, genius? Why is the world forming new alliances that have never existed before just so they can circumvent dealing with America? Yeah, that's what the world needs, right? That's what America needs. That puts America first, right? Oh my God, you people are children. You're children. You have no idea what you're talking about. You really are immune to facts, aren't you? Or is it that you're allergic to facts? Vincent says, dump is the best. Go ahead, Vincent. Name how. TikTok Trolley says, stop the hate. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you upset because I'm speaking mean about Daddy Donnie? Are you sad that Daddy Donnie is not loved by everyone the way you love Daddy Donnie? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Nicole says, dump SUX. Dump sucks. I like that. Full Violence Clips says he hasn't named any facts. No, you just don't understand facts when you hear them. Mr. Billy, user, who cares about Obama? Oh, you're replying to user. I think you believe people care about government like you. Interesting. Grizzly Bear says your mother took Tylenol. Yeah, and your mother banged her brother and got you. Didn't you say you'd be put back in chains in 2016? What happened to that? Who's y'all? I didn't hear anyone say that. Bob Ross, was that a fever dream that you had? Vincent, look at the dump is the man. That's a grown man saying that, folks. A grown man publicly stating dump is the man. Holy shit. Holy shit. And by the way, what happened to that, Bob Ross? Have you looked at the news lately where people are being put in chains? So even though I didn't hear anybody say anything about putting us back in chains, let's say you're right. Well, it did come true, didn't it? It did come true. So your own argument is defeated by the reality because you don't know reality because you're too busy gargling Dump's nuts to read the news. Swada, look at the pivot that Swada did. How many genders are there? Can any liberal answer? User 7711 says, hey, I like Dump. I ain't in love with him. I think he's doing a good job. In what way? Please tell me what he's doing that's good. FKNGVNA says Biden was abysmal. Yeah, record high job growth, record low inflation. Let's see, what else? The fastest recovery from C-19. Oh, that's just abysmal, huh? Returning manufacturing to America, that's so abysmal. And Dump stopped all those contracts because he's great, right? He puts America first. So he stopped contracts so Americans couldn't get work. That's fantastic. F. Kane says, do you think the president makes the rules? What kind of question is that? Teal says, bullying is not negotiating. Okay. Who's trying to negotiate? And if this is bullying to you, then you better strap on a helmet because the world gets a lot harder than this. Swada says, dodging the gender question, LMAO. Yeah, because it's such a brilliant question, right? I'm like, I'm so afraid to engage with Swada because Swada is so brilliant. Why don't you come up and talk to me, Swada? Do you have the courage to do that? Or are you just a keyboard warrior? And he asks again, how many genders? So I'm just curious. Look at this. Every time one of you says something about the fact that I'm not working, uh, Winniest Llama says another liberal not working, or is it Whiniest Llama? Uh, you're on this live with me, so that must mean you're not working too. You know, you didn't really think that through, did you? Yes, CBS Small. I assume you meant shutdown, people complaining about the shutdown, but you Republicans voted for this, yeah? Schwada says, answer the gender question correctly. I don't give a fuck about your question. Mason asks Swada, is your deity arresting any MS-13 G members? Yeah. Sketch says, bro, how's Europe? I suppose you mean how is? You missed the apostrophe, but how's Europe? What does Europe have to do with this? We're talking about Donnie Dump as president. Nilofa says, I hope I said that right. Nilofa. Biden and Kamala didn't do anything. Right. They just sat and stared at the walls for 4 years. So, yeah, so Whiniest Llama says, hard to read, grade school is there. Wow, what a sick burn. User 8989 says, are you mad because he's working hard, sir? Why would I be mad if a president was working hard? He's working hard to steal your money. So he might be working hard, though he doesn't seem to be. We've been spending lots of money on his golf outings, but if he's working hard to improve the country, I certainly wouldn't be mad. If he's working hard to enact fascism in America, which he has done, then yeah, I'm not going to like that. You understand how that works? FKNGVNA says, I'm guessing this chat doesn't know about implementing universal income. I'd be surprised if the MAGA hats knew anything about that. Island Hopper says, Dump is your president. See, what you're engaging in, Island Hopper, is projection. He is the president. He's not my president. But you feel like he's your president because you love Daddy Donnie. He's my president. Do you pray to a picture of him at night or something like that? Do you close your eyes and fantasize that he's hugging you and stroking your hair and telling you what a good person you are? Tom says, tell us why you think he's the worst. They just ate Big Macs and watched Fox. Oh, wait. Right. Dump is the new Jim Jones, so you all keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Hey, CBS Small, I like that idea, but here's some trivia for you. Because we get the Kool-Aid thing from Jim Jones, right, in Jonestown. But the weird thing is that they never drank Kool-Aid. They drank a knockoff brand called Flavor Aid, which is still available to purchase. But somehow it got changed to Kool-Aid. I don't know how that happened, but they drank Flavor Aid. Mobile Hookah said, why keep talking to these individuals with no updated knowledge? I'm not sure who you're referring to. Are you referring to them or me? I don't know. A-hole says, agreed. Remove him from office now. Dump initiated. FAFO, crooks like you are now finding out. You're accusing me of being a crook when Dump has 34 felony convictions. And I've never even been arrested. That's a weird metric that you have. Swada said a 3-year-old could answer my gender question. Maybe. So go ask a 3-year-old. Oh, you're probably not allowed near 3-year-olds, so sorry. I didn't mean to suggest that. A red bell pepper, one costs $2. I haven't bought a red pepper in a while. Like what do they normally cost? I'm guessing a lot less than that. Lady says a lot of these supporters are bots. I know. That's why, I only engage briefly. And Jason the barber says, how is he stealing our money? Okay, Jason, you probably won't understand this, but when he gives tax breaks to the rich and your prices go up and your cost of living goes up and your health care goes up, that's how he's stealing money from you. Try to keep up with current events. Whoa, these comments are pouring in fast and furious. Definitely not, Coach. 3 bell peppers cost $2.50. Blue state prices don't count. Well, they should because blue states are supporting red states. You know that, right? That you guys couldn't exist without blue states supporting you. You know that immigrants support you too. There are 5 programs that red states take more than any other, like not even close to what blue states take for these programs. But you guys accept EBT, Medicaid, Medicare, Section 8, and Social Security, and immigrants pay into that, but they cannot take those programs. So you're mad at blue states, you're mad at immigrants, and yet it's your elected officials that are making your lives harder. But you're not smart enough to understand that. So you keep being mad at the wrong people. A stormtrooper says, Kamala would have been much worse. Sure. Yeah, you said that about Obama too. You said the sky would fall if he got elected, you know, and he actually helped you out. I don't like everything he did. I'm a huge critic of the drone program, but overall, his performance was excellent. Chef C says maybe he should send billions to Ukraine. Swada, is Yoda female or male? Is it that you're attracted to me? Is that what this is about? You want to find out what my deal is? You're adorable. Paul Vonk says, you're a better man than me. There's a lot of ignorance in this room. Stay patient. Keep being you. Thank you, Paul. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just used to this nonsense. I've been doing this for a while, so. ICEN9NE says, you're kidding, right? You have zero clue how business works. You are just an employee somewhere. Okay. By the way, those are not mutually exclusive. You can be an employee and still know how business works, but I don't even know what you're talking about. The economy is booming. Really? Oh, that's weird because inflation is up since January, since the day he was sworn in. Inflation is up over 0.5%. Moody's downgraded America for the first time in 150 years. GDP is in negative growth. Jobs, the job report for August, which is the last report that Dump allowed to be shown, lost 3,000 jobs, minus 3,000. So what part of the economy is booming? I'm just curious. Terry says, oh no, 0.5%. Oh, so you don't understand how things work, right? You're saying the economy is better while you're saying, oh, it's no big deal that inflation is rising. And it's been rising steadily. And generally, when inflation rises steadily, it leads to a recession. So your ignorant, oh no, 0.5% means that you don't really qualify to have this conversation. CB Small said or is it CB Small or CBS Small? I can't tell. I maybe it's CB Small. So to everyone who thinks Dump is great, are you millionaires now? Oh wait, yeah. I mean, he's great for if you're a millionaire or above, millionaire billionaire class. You know, the predators love him because he's given them everything. And yes, thank you, City Girl. I mentioned that earlier that farmers are going bankrupt. More bogs. What is it? More baga sugar. Oh, more booger sugar. That would have been two O's, but you put two G's. So more baga sugar says fake news. Oh, so you're a propaganda parrot, right? You're just repeating what Daddy Dump says. Fake news. That's fake news. I don't know how words work, so I'm gonna say fake news. Swada says Biden had two Ueats. Oh, try that again. You won't be a millionaire working for someone else ever. That's absolutely not true. There are people who are employed in the stock market who work for someone else who have become millionaires. There are people who work for film studios and sports franchises, and they've become millionaires as well. So, yeah, Melinda. So you're saying that it could have been worse, right? You're suggesting that it could have been worse. So he said that he was the peace president. That didn't work out to be right at all. He said he was going to bring down prices. That didn't turn out to be right at all. And he's violating the Constitution, violating civil rights. But you're saying that somehow it would have been worse, right? If a lifelong civil servant had gotten into office extending the kind of policies that made America recover fastest from any than faster than any other country in the world after C-19, you're saying it would have been worse somehow. That's an interesting take. So, Zombie Kirk, how you doing?
Lovely. Just wanted to say MAGA sucks and wish they weren't around anymore. Can't wait for them to all be gone.
Yeah. Well, what is your issue with MAGA?
If I was only allowed to pick one, it was that
No, I
they,
mean issues. What you can pick as many as you like.
from a personal standpoint, the main one would be their ability to ignore the grape.
Right.
The E. Jean Carroll and the other 27, 28. I hate looking up the number.
Right.
It's sad and scary.
Yeah, they don't mind that he's a rapist. They don't mind that he's a felon. They don't mind that he's an insurrectionist. They don't mind that he stole top secret documents.
Yep.
They don't seem to mind anything he does, which is the sign of a cult, right? That's how cults work. When you're in a cult, there's a few characteristics. Anybody can read this for themselves, but they oh, he left. They are they control the information for the cult members, and the cult leader can never be wrong. He's considered like a deity. He's considered infallible. All this kind of stuff, and you could hear it. You could see in the comments how devoted they are, just because of my title. Right? They're so upset that someone doesn't love Daddy Dump the way they do, and so they start crashing out immediately. You know, and they don't know anything. They don't ever read about anything. They don't ever check facts. Right now, an American president has declared that half the country is his enemy, and half the country is the enemy from within for the rest of the country. That's what an American president said in public while he knew he was being recorded. And you're all okay with that. You're good with that because he's your guy, right? He can do no wrong. He's the best. He's the strongest. He's the best looking. He's the tallest. Johnny says you're projecting, which means you don't know what projecting means. Illegals are my enemy. Do you support that? What are illegals? Swada says Yoda wears drag on Thursdays. Swada, you're making increasingly more intimate responses, intimate comments about me. So I think I was right. I think you're attracted to me and struggling with that feeling inside of you. Dino says you speak the truth. Thank you, Dino or Dino. I assume it's Dino. Republicans use common sense and Democrats use failed emotional choices. Really? So how is it that Democrats created 96% of the jobs in the last 30 years? How is it that Republicans keep crashing the economy and Democrats keep recovering the economy? Where's the common sense there? Where's the performance? Like what are you pointing at as evidence for what you're saying? Because you don't have any evidence. You can't back up what you just said because the facts aren't there for you. The facts tell the complete opposite story. Momio of big kids. Mommy of big kids. Oh, I see. Mommy spelled it weird, but I think I get it. Mommy of big kids. Says Joe Biden was like Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. So, okay, let's say that's true. Let's say Joe Biden was completely out of touch, completely mentally ill, mentally challenged, whatever you want to call it. He was Sleepy Joe and all that other stuff. How was he also an international thief running a criminal enterprise for 50 years at the same time? Because you say both things about him. You all say both things about him. And you know those things are completely opposite to each other, right? So I'm just curious how that happens. How does it work that he can't string two sentences together? And he doesn't know where the bathroom is. He doesn't know where he is. He's got dementia. He's Sleepy Joe. But he's also running an international crime ring successfully for over 50 years. Very strange. Baiting shrimps says, go take a nap. I might. Swada says, Yoda wants children to learn from trannies. All right, so now that you're starting to use slurs, you've got to go. All right. I indulged you for as long as I could. Jennifer Manzella says, take a nap, Grandpa. Oh, I know you're probably confused about this, Jennifer, because you might not know who your father is, but I am not, in fact, your grandfather. Oh my God, still with this. How many undercover agents were at the White House? Check the facts on J6. And what is that supposed to mean? And he writes it twice. Probably a bot, but Jennifer Manzella said, this is what misinformation looks like. Yeah, because everything Daddy Dump tells you is the truth, right? Like he was going to build the wall, like he was going to give you health care, like he was going to lower prices, right? That was the truth, right? You're a joke. He is the goat. Half a fuzzin'. I guess you meant dozen. Wars stopped, record stock markets. So you are undercutting him. He says on any given day, he says he stopped from 7 to 9 wars. You're saying 6. So somewhere in there, the math is not working out. But um, attacking two different sovereign nations is not peace, you know. Increasing the drone program in his first term by 400%, that's not peace. Dropping armaments on Somalia and I think Syria also, that's not peaceful. You, you get how that works? You see how reality is different than whatever fantasy you're living in? Trump has never stopped war. That's correct, Lori. Please don't type in all caps. It's unbelievable the amount of ignorant people that believe what Dump says. Yeah, that's no pepperoni and cheese. No pepperoni and cheese. Interesting username. Yeah, it is kind of amazing. Anna said smart people don't like me, quote unquote, and that was from Donnie Dump himself. Yeah. And by the way, the MAGA hats were insisting that Donnie Dump never said he loved the poorly educated, and I found the video and posted it. He certainly did say that. This was during the campaign in February of 2016. He said that. I love the poorly educated. Asuna Uchia Lanch, I'm not sure. 20,000 people have been uh, injured in Chicago since 2020. Red Jones, why won't they lock him up? I get that, but please don't type in all caps. Exhausted said, Yoda, you're wasting your time. That's the wrong you're the first time, right? That's YOU apostrophe RE, wasting your time. They are incapable of learning. I am not trying to teach them. What I like doing is taunting them because they're dumb. So I enjoy taunting them, but um what I like to do is give people information that have to deal with MAGA hats the way I do. So it's fun for me to taunt them. It's fun for me to humiliate them. And at the same time, I'm sharing facts that not everybody knows all the time. I mean, some people know most of the stuff that I'm talking about, but some people don't, and I get that. People are working constantly and they don't have time to look into this stuff. And, I figure, while you guys are here and have time to have fun, I share some ideas. Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for dropping 100,000 armaments on civilians in the Middle East. Yeah, really? Is that what the Nobel Peace Prize Committee said? They said, we're giving you this Peace Prize because you dropped armaments on people? Is that right? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Sin says, like he spoke to the president of Puerto Rico when he is the president of Puerto Rico, right? CB Small said, dump. Well, he said dump Trump, but I always change it to dump. R.I.P. Charlie. Oh, of course you were Charlie's fan. Oh, fragile YT male has trouble talking to girls, so he has to align with CK. That's so cute. And he writes in all caps, "This is exactly why you got stomped." I didn't get stomped. What are you talking about? Exhausted says, "Dementia Don Old." That's cute. Big B71 Gen X says, "Dump is the best president. Look at what we have had," and puts a weird smiley face emoji after that. I don't even know how to begin to address that. Unbelievably large amount of liberals that believe what Dems say too. You mean TOO, not TO. And it's mostly all fake. Boy, Robert, that's an amazing observation. Very specific, very detailed, unbelievably large amount of liberals. Nobody knows what that means. That believe what Dems say too. What are you talking about? And then it's mostly all fake. So you see how when you talk like Dump, you notice how ridiculous you sound? Just throwing out vague notions with no facts to back it up, just like, oh, unicorns run America now. Like, it's just as ridiculous as that. And you guys are typing a lot this morning. Yes, this is why he's trying to get the Department of Education dismantled to ensure he has followers. Yeah. No pepperoni and cheese. That is correct. The predator class does not want educated citizens. They want people to run the machinery. Hold on, I missed that. Something just scrolled here. Grizzly Bear says, Yoddah, why are you scared of MAGA hats? Did anyone hear me say I was scared of MAGA hats? You people are clowns. Why would I be scared of you? You're weak. You're beta males. You simp for a billionaire who doesn't give a fuck about you, who's actively stealing from you, and you support him while he does it. What is there to be afraid of? My son does this thing where if someone's wearing a MAGA hat, he walks right up to them and says, what's that about? Right? And he's 6'4" and he looks pissed most of the time. And none of you ever do anything about it. You crawl away. You're all punks. None of you ever confront me in public. Ever. You type a bunch of shit about me when you're safe behind your keyboard, just thumb thugging. Ew, he's fat. He looks like Uncle Phil. You're all punks, though. So, not only am I not afraid of you, I basically don't regard you at all. I don't care about you beyond the fact that you support the worst president in American history. He's got the lowest approval ratings of any president at this time in their second term. But you support him no matter what he does to you. Just like that's why your states are trash. I mean, Christopher Dixon, I want you to, folks, listen to this supposedly adult man. I'm going to presume that Christopher is an adult man. He said, I could beat you up 1v1. That's what a grown man said in public. Well, listen, Christopher, anytime you're feeling really confident, aside from when you're a keyboard warrior, feel free to test that out. You might be right. Come and find out. Is that IIIB? And your lies are amazing, buddy. LOLOL. So laugh out loud, out loud? That's what you're saying? Wow, this is really amazing. I've never seen MAGA hats crash out so much. This is wild how fragile you are. And none of them wants to come up. None of them will come up and talk. I've invited a few of you up. but you won't actually have a real conversation. Trump is Saul, as in Better Call Saul. Corey says this is weird, and you. Oh, this is weird. I'm sorry, I misread that. This is weird and just sad. I agree, Corey. And if you're not enjoying my live, of course, anytime you want, feel free to fuck off. Kindle, I can't repeat what you said, but they're blank boys, MAGA. Republican run states are trash. Nolo Dolo said that. Yeah. I mean, they're at the bottom of every list, lowest economically. They are the poorest states, right? Um, they have so much crime. They're very low in education. They're very low in life expectancy, very low in opportunity. And so many things that they're just at the bottom rung of. And instead of being angry at the people that they keep voting in that keep doing this to them, they decided that they have to be angry at brown people and Democrats, even though Democrats took their children out of the mines so that they weren't exploiting child labor, right? They gave people the 40-hour work week. They gave them health care. They gave them the highway system. I mean, Republicans literally voted against the highway system. They voted against Medicare. They voted against Medicaid. They voted against Social Security. All of the things that red states indulge in the most. So that's what Democrats did for them, amongst a few other things, and they're just constantly angry about that. Is it that you feel ashamed that you need handouts? It's okay. People need handouts from time to time. They need to be supported. That's what a good country does. A good country makes sure that its citizens do not fall through the cracks. So there's no shame. I know it sucks. I know it's hard, but there's no shame in needing help once in a while. Things happen. People get sick. People get hurt. Sometimes the economy changes and what they did for a living just goes away. We're seeing that with AI right now, right? So, sometimes you need help, right? So, but the fact is that red states take that help more than anyone else. Way more. And you could break it down by state, by city, by county, it doesn't matter. Red states overwhelmingly benefit from these government programs and then claim they hate socialism, just like the farmers. I saw the farmers on TV saying dumps tariffs have made it impossible, and we need the government to bail us out. But I thought you didn't like socialism. Until it reaches your door, then suddenly you like it, right? Dump is doing better than any Democrat president ever. Right, like the economy, isn't that the main thing? Isn't that the main thing that administrations are judged by is the economy? Nolo Dolo, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Yoda?
I'm excellent. What's on your mind?
Excuse me. Just caught something in my throat.
No worries.
No, I mean, all I really wanted to say was I don't understand sometimes how people are willfully blind to the stuff that's right in front of them, right? Like, I can disagree with someone on conservative, progressive. We want guns. We want no guns. We want abortion.
Easy. Can't say that word on TikTok.
Sorry, my bad. We want the pew pews. We want less of them. We want women to have autonomy over their bodies. We don't want that because we think a life is a life. And I'm like, I think that those are all legitimate things that people can disagree on, and I can vehemently disagree with people on that. But it's like the part that I don't get around Felon 47 is like, this dude, no matter what you believe, if you take a step back and looked at it and like took all your emotions out of it, this dude is not for any of us at all. Like, he doesn't do a GD thing to advance America, to advance the average citizen. It's just like, and then on top of that, he does things to to enrich himself. It's like, I'm getting a plane from Qatar that, is quote unquote going to my presidential library, but I'll be able to use whenever I want to. And now tariffs on Qatar are lower. I'm getting people who buy into my shit coin, the Trump coin. Like, I'm getting people who buy that. They get pardons after they've committed financial fraud over the past however many years. And I'm just like, dog, like, I don't care if we disagree on the policies, but I'm like, stop being dumb. Stop being a jackass. Like look at what is in front of your eyes. Stop being dumb. Stop excusing that. And then, like, also maybe like just a small smidge, look out for yourself. Like, he's not doing anything for you.
They don't have a sense of self-preservation, which is amazing to me because flowers do. Like, plants emit this kind of like chemicals that stop insects from eating them. So plants have a sense of self-preservation, but these twits don't. Right? And you said something rhetorically earlier, but I actually want to answer it. The idea of, like, you said you don't understand how this happens. I can give you some insight into that. So, remember the Ghetto Boys saying "mind playing tricks on me"? That might have been before your time, but
a little bit. But I do remember that.
yeah. So, the mind is very powerful, right? So I'm going to give you a quick illustration of that, and then I'll give you the real explanation. So I'm sure that this has happened to you. This has happened to basically everybody. You're trying to get out of your dwelling to go wherever. And it's important that you get there on time, and now you can't find your keys. And you look on the nightstand, they're not there. You look on the coffee table, they're not there. You look on the kitchen counter, they're not there. You start digging through the couch, you don't see it. And then you go back into the bedroom, and then they're on the nightstand where you already looked. So obviously they didn't disappear and reappear. They were there the first time you looked. And why did you miss it? Why couldn't you see it? It's because your mind had the keys pictured in a specific way. You thought keys, and then there's a picture that goes into your mind. And the reality of the keys didn't match the picture of your keys, right? So when we're talking about Dump supporters, especially the MAGA hats who are in the cult, the cult is what makes it impossible for them to see or accept what's going on, because they have moved the goal line like 50 times, right?
Mhm.
They said that, oh, we back the blue, but then 140 police officers get beat up on J6, one of whom lost an eye, some of whom were screaming for their lives, and then Dump pardoned all of them, and they're okay with that, right? Even though they say back
Yoddah,
the blue, the
can I
party of
interrupt to
law
ask
and
you a
order.
question real quick?
Sure.
So you and I have been on a couple of lives together at this point, and I wanted to ask you. So I'm 34. I'm gonna guess that you're a little bit older than 34.
61, yes.
Okay. I want to get like the OG's take on how we carry the torch forward, because like I'm 34 and I'm already tired, man. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
you learn from history, right? There are a bunch of examples that you could draw from. 1917 Russia, there were 2 uprisings during that time, and they toppled a king. They literally toppled a kingdom. And there are
Yeah.
many instances like that. But in America, We don't have to go back that far. We can go back to the 60s where MLK was doing his thing, and the bus boycott lasted over a year. I talk about this almost every day because people have this question in their mind regularly, like, what can we do? Well, the difference between then and now, there's a couple of differences. Number one, it was pre-internet, and they still figured out a way to organize, right? So that requires a certain amount of dedication. And also, the bus boycott lasted over a year,
Mm.
right? So that was daily sustained effort for a year. So the difference now is that we have better organizational tools because we have social media and email and stuff like that, but we have not figured out how to do a sustained targeted boycott, which is what we need to do. And I know people are
How do you
working
feel about
on
the
it.
Target one?
Say again.
So how do you feel about the Target one?
That was good, but that was narrow, right? You're talking about one
Mm.
company, right?
Yeah.
So great. I'm glad that people did that. Those are great. I like what people did with Jimmy Kimmel because that was a bigger deal than people realize, I think,
Yeah.
because Disney was facing pressure from the government. Okay, that's no joke. When the government turns its sights on you and pressures you, that's an enormous amount of pressure.
Yeah.
But who did they feel more pressure from? Citizens,
Us.
right?
Yeah.
So that's my quote unquote OG take on it is like, just model the past. And, like I connected with the People's Sick Day. And that's one of the things that I talked to her about. I said, you folks are great at organizing. So why don't you connect to the other people that are great at organizing, the people that are organizing this one day protest or the weekend protest or even the week long protest and get together. And I know this is easier said than done, but this is, I think, what it's going to take. Everybody has to get together and say, we have to do the most far reaching thing that we can, because
Mm.
the key to MLK's success is that he affected the money, right?
So let me ask you another question then, because like I literally got drummed out of Alive before because so like I grew up in suburban New Jersey, yeah, and I grew up around people who have grown into people who voted for Trump or didn't vote or voted for a third party. So it's like not people that I would consider like the MAGAs who are lost to the cause, like too far gone. People that I know in their soul, like understand what the problems are. And like I personally have been trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, so like if you know this guy is wrong and you know all the terrible things that he stands for and is willing to do, why do you vote for him? And I have not gotten a concrete answer.
Well,
And
because
like
we
some of
know
those
what
friends
the
I've cut
answer
off,
is. We know what the
yeah,
answer
some
is. They hate
okay.
that dump hates the same people they do. That's why they
Mm,
vote for him.
mm.
Because
It's
there are no
sad.
merits, right? There's no,
Yeah. No,
first
it's
of all,
sad.
he didn't even belong in the conversation to begin with in 2016, right? Or when he announced in 2015, because he's always been a joke. He's always been a loser. His only talent was being ejected from the testicles of a wealthy man, right? And
Yeah.
so, you know, he he was just famous because of his TV show. That was it. And
But
New
I guess I
Yorkers
guess
knew
my
him.
question is more about is less about the candidate being Trump and more about like the people. Like these are people who, if I were a political analyst, I would say are gettable for Democrats, left leaning people, whomever. But like for whatever reason, they're not doing that. And you're saying it's because they hate the same people he hates. And I believe that might be true for some of them. But like I'm genuinely like I look at some of them, I'm like, yo, you don't hate these people, you don't like these things, and yet you still vote for that. And like I don't understand why.
Well, some of it is ignorance because the Democratic Party has been blamed for everything, even though the facts show what the reality is, right? And as you could see
Yeah.
in the comments, these people are ignorant. They don't know anything. They just spout off without reading, without looking up the facts. They just don't know, right?
Yeah,
And that unfortunately that's the way America is in general. We got too many dumb people here, and you've got this, like anything else complex. It's not one thing. It's a multivariate analysis that you have
for
to
sure. Yeah.
give, right? So you're looking at a propaganda ecosystem that is vast. Okay, the Republican propaganda ecosystem is enormous. They
Mhm.
own almost every broadcast outlet, right? Because this is another thing with deregulation, right? It used to be that you couldn't own multiple types of media. If you
And you
had
had to
an
be fair and balanced.
Yeah, if you had a newspaper, right, and Reagan got rid of the fairness doctrine. So if you had a newspaper, you couldn't own a radio station also, or you couldn't own a TV station also. You know what I'm saying? Like you could only own one type of media company, and that stopped these giant conglomerates from monopolizing the media, both business wise and communication wise, right? So these people are bombarded daily. I know, I've been in their spaces. They are bombarded daily by one message, and it's wherever they look, right? They turn on the TV, they see the message. They go online, they see the message. They go on different platforms, they see the message. So because they don't read and do their own thinking, they just take in these messages as absolute truth and never examine anything. It's called confirmation bias, right? So, there's a lot of factors that go into your observation and your questions, right? And your frustration. It's and because it's the same frustration I feel.
Mhm.
These are people that just refuse to get educated. Like, look, Peggy Lapointe comes on and says, "How is Dump the worst?" See, you could easily find that out, right? Anybody could easily figure out why he's the worst president ever, right? And I'm not saying it like, like a kid says, "Oh, you're the worst ever." No, like it is factual that Dump is the worst president ever by all metrics that we use to judge presidents and administrations, right? We're
And
now, this is the third shutdown that he's been in charge of. And he himself in 2011 said that a shutdown falls on the shoulders of the president.
yeah, and I agree. And to go to Peggy's question, why is Dump the worst? I'm just saying, like, what has he produced for any of us so far? I'm like, maybe if you live in a border state and seeing less migration was your top issue, cool. Like, if you're seeing less of that, and that's the thing that makes you get out of bed in the morning and be happy, fine.
Even
But
though
I'm
that's
like,
not good. A lack of immigration is
I
not good.
yeah, trust me, I agree. I think that like we had an unspoken agreement with our undocumented brethren for like decades, and we violated that. But that's a different conversation. um, but yeah, I'm like, but
Yeah,
like
you
honestly,
invite
like
them into the house and then tell them they're trespassing.
right, exactly. You invite
Yeah.
them in, they clean up, they cook the food, and then you say, "Get out! What are you doing here?" Like that's that sort of thing. But to Peggy's question, like, why is Dump the worst? I'm like, he doesn't do like he has not presented anything, as far as I'm aware, that is actually like proactive toward benefiting the people of this country. He's told you that all the people he's gonna kick out. He's told you that they're gonna get out, and then by some magical way, that's gonna benefit you.
Yeah, and he completely lied about that as well.
Right. He said
You
he's gonna
know,
go after criminals,
right.
but he's going after
Violent
like
criminals. He specifically said
violent
violent
criminals.
criminals, which, by
But
the
then you see
way, would
abuelas
have
getting
been
shipped out.
less than 10,000 people, right? Which could have been taken care of in a couple of months. But instead, he's just doing the authoritarian thing and going after anybody. And he's trying to jail judges. He's trying to jail journalists. He's trying to do all these things that are very fascist and authoritarian. And they're like, they used to be against tyrannical governments. Now they support one. It's hilarious. And the only way that they could do that is to be in denial about everything that we're talking about. They have to keep telling themselves, oh, no, it's not happening. He's not a convicted felon. Like, I've had people literally tell me he's not a convicted felon. Like, what do you do with that? How do you deal with people like that? And
really can't argue
I've been a
with that.
professional communicator since 1984, and I can't figure out how to get through to these people.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because I'm a professional communicator as well. I work in marketing. I try and for what it's worth, I work in marketing for a news organization. So I try to present whatever the story is. I try to present it in a way that is unbiased, factual, practical, but also compelling, right? Like, what is the hook to get you to click and like go and read the full story, right? And anyone can feel how they want to feel about that, but like it's a business. They gotta make money. We gotta stay afloat because
The
I do
internet
believe,
runs on eyeballs.
yeah, but like I do believe in the particular mission of my company where they're trying to rejuvenate local news, right? So we get all these conglomerates that tell us these stories that they pepper them around the country, and then they catch on like Haitians eating cats and dogs. Like the fact that was even a thing is insane to me. Insane.
And that a guy wanting to be president of America yelled that out in a debate.
Yes.
That is
and then
wild.
the person he was talking to who called that out for being crazy lost. I'm like, where are we?
Yeah.
Where are we right now?
But that's one of the many reasons I'm disappointed with this place. But listen, I really appreciate that you came up. Normally, I don't like sitting here just bloviating for the whole time. I enjoy hearing people's perspective. I even enjoy people that disagree with me. So thank you for coming up and helping out with the live. You are welcome anytime. I go twice a day. I'm going to drop you down because I'm going to play a video or you might be able to hear it when you're up here, but I'll drop you down anyway because I'm going to close after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop off anyway. Love you, brother.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So, folks, a lot of people ask what we can do about what's going on, and it is an absolute valid question. One of the things that I've done is I've volunteered for a pro-democracy organization. They are one of the leading pro-democracy organizations out there. And I made a video to promote them. It's short, so I'm going to play it for you now. I volunteer for one of the leading pro-democracy organizations in America. They're called Represent Us. You can get involved right now and start fighting for democracy and against corruption. They've given me my own URL, represent.us/Yoddah, represent.us/YODDAH. You'll be taken to this page where you can start getting involved right away and letting your representatives know what you think about what's going on. So go to represent.us/Yoddah and let your voice be heard. All right. And if for some reason, you forget the URL, here we go. If for some reason you forget the URL, you can go to the link in my bio. Oh, I turned off the title by accident. There we go. You can go to the link in my bio, and there's a link tree. You go down to the bottom, you'll see the Represent Us logo, and you just click on that, and it'll take you to the same page that you were just shown. And that way you can, put in some effort, because I know people are looking for things to do, and they give you a lot of things to do. I don't make any money on this. It's all volunteer work, but I just believe in what they're doing. So if anyone feels like joining in, please do that. Island Boy Pundit, what's up, man? Hey, if you want to come up, let me know. I haven't spoken to you in a minute. I was about to close, but I'll chat with you if you'd like to come up. Thank you, Nolo Dolo, for being here, man. I appreciate you as well. Take care. You requested. I didn't see a request. Let me try that again. Hold on. Oh, I know why. No, there it is. Okay. I can bring you up. Hold on a second. I was on a different screen and I couldn't see the request, so thank you for hanging in there.
Hey, my brother.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Oh boy, just digging in the weeds of things. I thought I knew. Just one thing I'd say. I've been making a lot of like compiling a lot of data and information, a lot of thought pieces. Um, you can look for me on Facebook too. That's where I put a lot of my
Yeah,
long form.
the Book of Faces. We can't promote other platforms anymore.
I know. The Book of Faces, yes. Um, I do my long form pieces on there, and it's one thing I'll say. Like I know people are averting to AI and stuff, but I use AI to quickly collate and collect things, you know, in one concise document. You know what I'm saying? And I have conversations where I have the AI kind of like give me sources, cite sources. Don't just tell me stuff. Don't just grab stuff. I have sources compiling it. And my latest thing I've been looking at is the NSPM, that new memo he signed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
new,
I did a post on that. Yeah.
yeah, it's really fucking scary, man. And I've been running a constitutional tracker tracking all the different threats to our constitution since the Trump administration started. It's a running tracker. So my AI runs that and gives me notification when anything happens. And I have a long ass fucking like table which was annotated with like what it does, which constitutional amendments are threatened and how it threatens it. And it has the dates, the law, the executive order, memo, whatever is passed, HR, whatever, Senate bill. It has everything compiled in it. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, shit. But we're in some serious trouble here. And what I realize now, the key thing I realize, a lot of these media celebrities keep talking about, oh, there's no facts to back up what he's doing and everything like that. They keep talking about that, and most of us we get stuck there. It's like an automatic vacuum that keeps bumping into the wall of that. But the reality is this: the president of the United States is not required to have any factual backing for any declaration or any policy that he says and any actions that he takes. That's just true.
Right.
He is not required to provide any factual basis. He can just declare something and move on it and then direct the agencies to move on it. And this is something scary for your audience to hear. I don't know how we went through a few centuries, 2.5 centuries like this, but we've been run on restraint. We've been a country that's been run on obligation. We've been a country that's been run on presidents and the branches of government willingly restraining themselves, willingly deferring to the other branches. You know what I'm saying? Respecting and deferring to tradition, respecting and deferring to morals in some case, respecting and deferring to the spirit of the Constitution rather than what the Constitution actually says you can and cannot do.
And that's part of the problem, right?
Yeah. And so what happens when I've been looking at the Constitution of, like, say, the UK and other countries, they have hard and fast, very strict and consequentially durable things about what you can and cannot do. And if you break the Constitution, this is what will happen to you. There is no wiggle room.
Yeah,
And
they replace leaders all the time.
yeah, there's no wiggle room for that in there's countries. And I've been talking to my mother. My mother's an attorney, and she said she grew up in the Caribbean, and the Caribbean has a parliamentary style. It's based off of the British style of things,
Yeah.
and she says the rules, the law down there is very cut and dry. It's very strict. You break the law, that's it. It's done. This is it. There's no arguing. Okay, all right. It's if you can do some kind of doubt, you can fog the thing, but then once you're proven to broke, that's it. You have consequences. She said the way the law is up here is one thing she found really curious about studying law up here. The way the law is up here and the Constitution and the legalese, which is all part of it, there's always room for interpretation and reinterpretation and reinterpretation ad nauseum. Even if you think something settled is not really settled, there's always room for reinterpreting. There's always room for revisiting. And she find that That's a very curious thing. My mother said she found, you know, looking at the U.S. Constitution versus what she's seen, the world over. And I was like, shit. I started doing my own deep dive. I'm like, fuck, she's right. And I'm like, we've been run by presidents who willingly said, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to abide by this. They do a nationwide injunction. Yes, I'm going to abide by that. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, and the problem also is that when he does have to, he still doesn't.
Because
Right?
because the
Well, like people kept asking, um, how is it possible that a felon could run for president? Well, it's because it wasn't made explicit that a felon couldn't run for president in the Constitution.
exactly.
So for some reason, your sound dropped out almost entirely.
You hear me?
Barely,
Can you hear me now?
barely.
All right, let me put in my headphones. That way it might be a lot better because, yeah, this is annoying. Hear
So
me
yeah,
now?
the yes, it's all just gentlemen's agreements. Not all of it, of course, but there's too many gentlemen's agreements,
Yes.
and then that requires gentlemen, and we don't have one in office now. We have a sociopath who's trying to take everything from everyone so that he can enrich himself and his family and his cronies. It's a small club, but it's a very powerful club because they own and run just about everything. And he's catering to them rather than catering to the American people.
He, like, the thing I've said, right? There's certain ilk of people that Trump, Musk, and all these people, Peter Thiel and them are. Their thing is like, can I do this? The question they ask is, can I do this? Yes or no? They don't care about anything else. Can I do yes or no? Okay, if I can't do this, what are the consequences for me doing it? Okay, if I can, what are the consequences, and can I withstand those consequences? Are the consequences of me doing this? Can I weather those consequences? Right, and that's all they consider. And if they can weather those consequences, which, as I said before, the way the laws are written, it's always up for reinterpretation. And they have more money than God, so of course they can weather the consequences. And they do not care about tradition. They don't care about honor. They don't care about empathy. They don't care about respect. They don't care about integrity. It's only what they want to do, and that's it.
Mhm.
That is it.
And the
That
party
is
of
how
law and
they're
order
raised.
somehow is okay with all this.
Well, again, but then we throw in the whole racial dynamic, which you and I have spoken ad nauseum about, and then you have like a huge swath of the majority demographic who is smoking that ganja, to put it that way.
Yeah.
That the racial, that racial thing. It's like, oh, it's the thing about this, so ingenious. It's subliminal, subconscious. So many, European Americans don't realize that they are that they are behaving, that their decisions are being literally colored by racism. They don't realize that they are, and that's what keeps this whole thing going. It's like, I have people in Jersey. We're in Jersey, border state. Yet some people I ran into said they voted for Trump because of the border. What the hell are you talking about? Why are you talking about the border in New Jersey?
because
We don't we don't we
because
don't have a we don't have
the
an
border
immigrant
equates to
issue in
brown
New
people.
Jersey.
The border
And
equates
which
to
is
brown
what
people.
I've been
That's all
trying
they
to
know. That's all
and
they
this is
can
what I've been
think of.
trying to tell
Oh,
them.
we're going to hurt the brown people. Good. Let's do that.
And it's a subconscious drive. They will never overtly admit that, but that is what it is, it's subconscious. And they get mad at you because I'm seeing the messages you get. You share some of your ditties sometimes, and you make videos about them. It's like, and I have a ton of messages which I hadn't even checked, and then when I check them, I'm like, wow, people really hate me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's like this subconscious, like, programming that, like, a lot of whitey people have. And unfortunately, it's a significant majority of people who consider themselves Caucasian have this underrunning programming. And and they have, and it's across the ideological spectrum. That's the unfortunate thing about it. I mean,
And then
look at
they celebrate the people that echo that. Like that's why CK was so popular, right? Like, they are in such denial about this dude. Oh, he never said anything. He never called for violence. Like he literally called for the unalivement of Joe Biden in literal terms.
yeah,
Okay. And that's just one of many things that he did like that. But again, as long as you hate the same people, they're on board. That's what galvanizes them very often.
and they, and what I'm telling you guys right now, this great replacement thing they're talking about. I want to say
Oh,
the
their
whole thing.
fever dream paranoia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that thing they're talking about, that is the federal government is weaponized where that's concerned. Okay? They are weaponized where that's concerned. They're doing so many things where that's concerned. That latest memo is part of that. Okay? And the whole thing about them, the Supreme Court gave, the ice cubes the ability to just profile you based on what you look like, the language you speak, where you work, what I mean, how you look and everything like that, and your accent even. Okay, it's part of that. And
And
there's a key
basically, if they don't like anything about you, now it's criminalized.
and the key thing, my key nuance that we're not getting here, right? And this is why a lot of these companies and the corporations and stuff like kowtowed, like bowed down almost preemptively. There's a concept called process is punishment. The mere fact that the government decides they're going to investigate you or just subpoena things from you or look into you and publicly do that, right? It forces you, and even you as a corporation or an individual, it forces you to expend financial, especially resources that you didn't intend on.
Hmm.
And that is the point. Because even if you take it to court, it's flagrantly unconstitutional, but you have to defend yourself. You have to spend thousands of dollars to defend yourself. These corporations could get their mergers like messed up because they're petty. And that costs them literally billions of dollars. So rather than go through the court fight to fight them, say, oh, this is not the way things should be done, spending millions of dollars on top of the billions they have at stake, they say it's better to basically sit down and give him fellatio and get their money and get their thing done. The media does the same thing. They want access to these people because these people say the most vituperative, outrageous things, gives them clicks. And if they decide they're going to fight this man, guess what? Guess what? These Republicans will stop coming on their show, stop coming on their panels, and their ratings will drop. Means their money drops. And this is what I'm saying. There's this process is punishment. He's going after specific individual people, right? For me, he's trying to ruin him personally, financially. That is why he's doing this.
Yeah,
He's not
I
a
agree.
Nakomi is not a wealthy man, but now he has to spend probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend himself now.
Well, we'll see how that goes. I can't particularly feel bad for him entirely, but
Mm.
your point is still valid. So, folks, click on Island Boy Pundit's image right there and follow him. He does very detailed and thorough videos about what's going on. And I always appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. It's been a while since we had a chat, so I'm glad you came up today. I'm uh,
Thank
I'm
you.
doing I'm doing mornings on top of evenings now. I'm doing 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. I just started that on the first, so far it's going
That's all right.
okay, although it is exhausting.
I hear you,
But
man.
it's a
You
first
do good
world type
stuff,
of
man.
exhaustion.
Yeah, you do good stuff, man. I peruse your videos all the time, and
Thank you, man.
I
Appreciate
reshare
it.
things whenever I get the
Oh yeah,
chance.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been
I
I've been
appreciate that
very
you tag me
busy.
in on everything.
Yeah, I've been very busy work-wise. Even though like personally, I'm starting to get affected by what he's doing professionally because he's messing with infrastructure dollars for blue states right now, and
Right.
it's really freaking irritating.
Yeah.
Extremely. Yeah.
I feel you, man. All right. Well, thanks again for coming up.
Thank you,
Hopefully
man.
we'll
Drop
talk
me
soon,
down.
man.
We
All
will,
right.
man.
Take
Thank you.
care. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for your participation, even you lunatics making ridiculous comments. I appreciate your time. And everybody else, thank you, thank you, thank you. Commenting, tapping, gifting, sharing, all that good stuff. Where you spend your time is important because you can't get your time back. So I never take it for granted that, you guys choose to spend your time with me. All right. So, with that said, again, a reminder I am here Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., both Eastern Time. Until we meet again, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.